The cafeteria was loud, filled with laughter, gossip, and the metallic clatter of trays, but when Amara walked in for the first time, silence rippled through the room like a chill wind. New girl. New town. New school. Same looks. Same whispers. Her deep brown skin and confident walk stood out like a storm in the middle of a sunny day. She held her tray tight, eyes scanning for a place to sit, pretending not to notice the stares. She had moved here just last week from Atlanta, and everything about Lincoln High felt colder. The walls were gray, the faces indifferent, and the smiles, when they appeared, were painted with judgment. She sat alone. A few tables away, a group of boys laughed loudly, their voices echoing across the cafeteria like a warning. The ringleader, Chase, was tall, athletic, and full of the kind of arrogance that came from never being told. No, his father was a local cop. His mother the head of the PTA. Around here, that meant Chase was untouchable. His friends, Jake and Tyler, followed his lead like shadows. They noticed Amara immediately. "Hey, who's the new chick?" Jake muttered, smirking. "Looks like she got lost on her way to the city." Laughter followed. Chase grinned, leaning back in his chair, eyes narrowing as he studied Amara. "Let's give her a real Lincoln welcome," he said. As he stood, the cafeteria seemed to hold its breath. Chase swaggered toward her, each step deliberate. Amara didn't look up until his shadow fell across her tray. "You lost or something?" he said loudly, drawing attention from half the room. She looked at him, calm but firm. "No. Just eating." Chase tilted his head, mock surprise on his face. "Eating?" he echoed, looking down at her plate. "You call that food? Or do you eat something different where you come from?" Laughter again, mean, forced laughter that always surrounded bullies like a fog. Amara didn't flinch. She picked up her fork and said quietly, "You must not have much to do if you're worried about my lunch." Chase's grin faltered for a second. He wasn't used to being talked back to, especially not by someone new. And definitely not by someone like her. "What did you say?" he asked, stepping closer. "I said, maybe you should mind your own business," she repeated. Voice steady but low. The tension thickened. Jake called out, "Careful, Chase. She's got attitude." That was all it took. The bully leaned forward, his voice dripping with venom. "You think you're tough? You don't belong here, girl." Before anyone could react, Chase reached out and grabbed her arm, hard. The cafeteria gasped. Amara tried to pull away, but his grip tightened like a vice. "What's wrong?" he sneered. "You scared?" A few students stood up, uncertain, afraid to intervene. Her eyes flared, not with fear, but with something deeper. She'd seen this before. She'd lived this before. She wasn't scared. "Let me go," she said evenly. "Now." Chase smirked. "Or what?" And then, it happened. In a blur, she twisted her wrist, dropped her tray, and moved faster than anyone could follow. She didn't hit him, she used his own force against him. A sharp, practiced motion, like something out of a martial arts film. Chase's hand was suddenly behind his back, and with a twist, he was the one on the ground, crying out in pain as the cafeteria fell dead silent. The sound of his knees hitting the floor echoed like thunder. Amara stepped back, breathing steady, eyes locked on him. She hadn't hurt him, just stopped him. He looked up, tears welling from both pain and humiliation. You broke my arm," he shouted, clutching his wrist. The crowd stared in disbelief. The same students who laughed seconds ago now looked at him with shock, even pity. Amara stood tall, calm as a storm after rain. "No," she said softly. "You did that to yourself." A teacher rushed over, shouting for everyone to clear the area. "What happened here?" she demanded. Students talked over each other, pointing, whispering, exaggerating. She attacked him. No, he grabbed her first. He was bullying her. It was chaos. But the truth was clear to those who saw it. Chase had started it. He always did. But this time, he picked the wrong target. In the nurse's office, Amara sat quietly as the principal entered, a stern man with graying hair and tired eyes. "Miss Daniels," he said, folding his arms. "I've heard conflicting stories. Care to tell me what happened?" She told him everything, calmly, without drama. When she finished, he nodded slowly. "You've studied self-defense?" "Yes, sir. My dad taught me." "He's a veteran," she said. "He always told me, never start a fight, but always finish one." Later that afternoon, the rumor had spread through every hallway. Chase, the school's toughest bully, had been put on the floor by the new girl, one who didn't even raise her voice. Some students snickered behind his back. Others started sitting near Amara, asking her questions, curious and impressed. For the first time, she didn't eat alone. But the story didn't end there. The next day, something unexpected happened. Chase walked up to her table again, alone this time. The cafeteria hushed, remembering what had happened. Amara looked up, ready for another confrontation. But instead, he stopped, hands in his pockets, eyes low. "Hey," he muttered. "About yesterday." She waited. I'm sorry." The words were rough, hesitant, but real. His friends were gone. His confidence cracked. "I shouldn't have done that," he added. Amara studied him, then nodded. "Apology accepted," she said simply. "But don't do that to anyone else. Ever." Chase nodded quickly. Then left, embarrassed but somehow lighter. That day marked something new, not just for her, but for the whole school. Other students began standing up for themselves, speaking out when they saw someone getting pushed around. The cafeteria didn't feel so cold anymore. Weeks passed. Amara joined the track team. She laughed more, smiled more. People respected her, not just because she was strong, but because she stood her ground with grace. The teachers noticed. Even the principal called her an example of courage and composure. But what no one knew was how much she'd fought to become that person. Back home, her mother had always told her, "Strength doesn't come from anger. Baby, it comes from knowing who you are." And that was what she carried with her every day. Months later, during the school's end-of-year assembly, Chase walked up on stage to accept an award for Most Improved Student. The crowd applauded politely. But when he reached the mic, he paused. "Before I say anything," he began, glancing toward Amara in the audience, "I want to say something I should have said a long time ago." The room fell quiet. A few months back, I was the kind of person who thought being strong meant scaring people. I was wrong. Someone showed me that real strength isn't about hurting, it's about standing tall and knowing when to stop. His eyes met hers briefly. "So, thank you." The room erupted in applause. Amara smiled, not because she needed the recognition, but because she saw change. Real change. One act of courage had turned a bully into someone better. Later, as she walked home beneath the warm sunset, her phone buzzed with messages from classmates, some thanking her for inspiring them, others asking her to start a self-defense club. She laughed softly, the sound mingling with the evening wind. Her dad's old words echoed in her head. The world doesn't need more people who can fight. It needs more people who can stand up. She realized that sometimes the battles that change lives aren't fought with fists, but with courage, compassion, and self-respect. As the screen fades to black, the narrator's voice comes in, steady, warm, and full of emotion. Days after the cafeteria fight, Chase avoided Amara, until guilt pushed him to face her. He walked up quietly, eyes down. "I'm sorry," he said. Amara nodded, calm as ever. "Just don't do it to anyone else." That moment changed him. Months later, he stood on stage, thanking her for teaching him what real strength meant. Amara smiled, knowing her courage had turned a bully into a better man.